Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And Marianne behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food. And today we are going to make Marianne a lemon ricotta cake. Huh? So the whole kind of genesis of this was I had some leftover ricotta cheese. And I'm thinking, okay, I had got it for another recipe, and I had too much, and I thought, what am I going to do with this extra carton of ricotta cheese? We're going to bake with it, and that's what we're going to do. So, we're going to make this lemon ricotta cake, and this cake, Toots, is made in a springform pan. You ever seen one of these before?
Of course, I live with you.
Yes, so she's been around, is what she's trying to say. So a springform pan is basically a pan that opens up on the side like this to release. And these are used a lot for making cheesecakes and other kinds of cakes. It has a removable bottom as well. So the bottom sort of fits into a groove here, and then you tighten the sides and it holds everything together. But we've got to prepare the springform pan, Mare, for our batter, okay? And we're going to grease it. And we're going to grease it with butter, okay? Nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
So we're going to just rub butter all over the bottom here, and I'm just using the waxed. I have a little waxed paper left over from the stick of butter. By the way, this recipe calls for 1.5 sticks of butter. So you can use some of the remaining. That remaining half stick, doesn't need a ton, to grease the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm buttering the sides here, buttered the bottom. I'm going to put the bottom portion in place here, and then we're going to tighten it up. All right, so now that I've got it greased on the sides and on the bottom there. Normally, if you're preparing a dish to bake a cake, you grease and flour. So we've done the grease part, but instead of using flour for this, we're going to use powdered sugar, okay? So I keep powdered sugar in a little shaker here for like dusting things, which we will dust this cake when it's done with powdered sugar, but it also comes in handy for this application. So I'm going to just put a little bit more here. Okay, so here's what we've got. Can you see that, honey?
Yeah.
We've got it buttered and we've got it dusted. All right? So now we'll come back and start mixing our batter for our lemon ricotta cake. So now we're going to start mixing our batter, Mare. So the first thing is we're going to put in our butter, which is 1.5 sticks. I'm using unsalted butter here, okay? That's been softened. That is, it's been out of the fridge for a couple hours. In the wintertime, it takes a little longer to soften because it's cool in here. And I'm going to add to the butter. And it's funny, Mare, I had a stick of organic butter, and I have a stick of regular butter. And look, they're kind of different colors.
Yeah, one's lighter than
the other, right? Yeah. And then we're going to add 1.5 cups of sugar to this. There we go. And we're going to cream this together. So, got my old KitchenAid 3B here. And I'm going to work this up. Okay. You may have noticed, Mary, that this is a different mixer than what we started with. And one thing that happened, folks, is that old KitchenAid's bowl was too small. And stuff was flying out of it. So you know what? Better safe than sorry. We switched it up to a mixer with a larger bowl. So now we've got a newer, although this KitchenAid mixer is 25 years old, we've got a little bit of a newer mixer that we're using. Okay, so we've creamed together our 1.5 sticks of butter and 1.5 cups of sugar. Next, Mare, you can't have a ricotta cake without ricotta, right?
Right.
So this is whole milk ricotta, okay?
Okay.
So that's what you want to use. They make it part skim, but you want the full fat whole milk version of this. We're going to add this. This is a 15-ounce. This was a 15-ounce container, which is a pretty standard size that it is sold in. And we're going to now turn this mixer on, and we are going to beat the ricotta in with the butter and sugar until it's light and fluffy, and I'll scrape down periodically as needed, and this might take a couple of minutes. So there it is, Mare. Light and fluffy, okay, and well combined. Our sugar, butter, ricotta. Okay? Now, the next thing is, I've got 3 large eggs here. And we're going to add them one at a time. So, I like to crack the eggs into a measuring cup. And we'll turn our mixer on. And let's get that first one in. Kind of watch it get well combined. Egg number 2. Now it's really turning a beautiful yellow, isn't it?
Yeah.
And our last egg. These were large eggs, by the way. The recipe is in the description under the video. Okay. So, again, we scrape as we go. We want to make sure everything's good and mixed. All right. Now, Mira, I'm just going to push this over here. And we've got some work to do. Now, this is a lemon ricotta cake. So, I had a lemon, which I have zested. Okay. And now I have to juice. Always zest the lemon first before you juice it. It's very hard to get the yellow peel off after the lemon's been juiced. So, now that I've got the zest off, I'm just going to put it here. And you just want the juice of the lemon, however much that is. And this was probably a large-ish. I wouldn't say it was a gigantic lemon, but large-ish. So I just love that lemon smell. So we're going to just ream this lemon here. Get our, okay, that's good. So, put this aside, and we'll bring our mixer back into the scene here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in some vanilla, 1 teaspoon. And then we're going to add in our lemon zest. Okay. And our lemon juice. Now, let's get that stirred in. Okay. Now, we also need to add a little bit of baking soda. Not a lot, just a half a teaspoon baking soda. Okay. And we are also going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay. And in that goes. Now the last thing to go in is our flour. I've got a cup and a half here, Mare, of flour, which we're going to put in. And I'm going to do this sort of gradually, because you know what happens when the mixer's going and you add the flour?
You get a flour facial.
Which we don't want. Okay, here we go. So, you just want to put this flour in. We're going to stir this in just until our flour is combined into the batter. So let me do a scrape down. Yeah, you don't want to overmix this cake. So we're just gonna, but I want to make sure that flour is stirred in just till it's combined. All right, honey, we are gonna put our, ooh, it's lemony. Can you smell that lemon?
Yes.
We're going to put our batter here in our springform pan. The oven is at 350 degrees, by the way. And this cake is going to bake between 50 minutes and an hour or so. A toothpick inserted should come out nice and clean. I want to get every bit of this batter. Okay. Okay, in it goes. We'll check in about 50 minutes or so. So let's see, we had it in for 55 minutes, Mare. And it is ready to come out. The old toothpick test, the toothpick inserted into the center of the cake came out clean. That's how we know it's good to go. And I'm gonna, let's just show our friends. And all I can tell you, is it me, Mare, or does it smell kind of like Christmas cookies in here or something?
It kind of does.
Do you know that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So good. I think it's a combination of I think it's the lemon, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what we're really kind of getting. So here's the deal now. We're going to just leave this alone for like 15 minutes in the pan, okay?
Okay.
Then we're going to unlatch it and remove the side and let it cool completely. And then we'll give it a little dusting of powdered sugar. You know what happens when you put powdered sugar onto something that's hot?
It melts into whatever it is.
That's right, it melts in, so it's like you don't even see it because it does a disappearing act. So we want it to cool completely before we finish it. But I think this will be ready just in time for dessert after dinner tonight. So, okay, we'll be back. Well, honey, the cake has cooled, and you can see here I gave it a nice little dusting of the powdered sugar. And that's it. Now, if you see the sides are nice and browned, I took remember we did this in a springform pan, right?
Right.
So when you unbuckle the side, it lifts right off, and it's still on the bottom layer of the pan. I leave it on that, frankly. It's too much of a fuss to try to take it off and transfer it. So anyways, I did put it on a little larger platter, and I think we should cut into it, don't you?
Yes.
So, Now, I'm going to get under it here. Kind of hold there we go. Wow. Well, I didn't cut it perfectly, but can we show our friends that? Look at that beautiful cake. And I can already tell just from cutting it open, oh, the lemon. So, here we go. Oh my. Wow. Honey, this is moist like you wouldn't believe. Delicious. And it's got a nice lemon flavor. It's on the denser side, but it's still light, even though it's moist. That's the ricotta cheese, Mare. And you know, it's like when you make something with a cake with sour cream.
Yeah.
Same idea. You know, you're adding that kind of that dairy, that fat into the batter. Oh, is that good? And the lemon, just yummy. This is the kind of cake to make, by the way, perfect with a cup of coffee. When you want to bring something different, it's kind of partially a pound cake, partially a lemon cake, but it does have a richness from the ricotta cheese, and it's just delicious. One slice of this would put a smile on anybody's face. So, we wanted to find a good use for that ricotta, didn't we, Marianne?
Yes.
Because if there's one thing I don't like is waste. And so we always look to see if we can find something to do with leftovers or extra ingredients. And this, I can't think of a better use than making this cake. So Again, the recipe for the cake is in the description below the video. Baby, what do you say we give them the old website?
Cavalcadefood.com.
Cavalcadefood.com. And I would like to thank Marianne for working the camera today. Thanks, Toots.
You're welcome.
And I want to wish all of our food friends out there, Mare, a very happy new year. And I'm sending out good positive vibes for good health and great joy and good things for everyone in the new year. So thank you for tagging along on this one, this delicious lemon ricotta cake, and we'll look forward to seeing you again back here real soon on Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.
Bye.